great seeing you here again. My name is Luc de Koster, founder of the Koster Academy, and in this video I'm going to talk about the creation of an activity on the node schedule using the precedence diagramming method. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's have a look what this lesson is about. When we look at the precedence diagramming method, we start with a table that has the different activities and their information related to their predecessors. The table I'm using is exactly the same like the exercise we did using the activity on the arrow or the arrow diagramming method a few videos before this. What we have in fact three activities A, B, and C which have no predecessor. D has predecessor A, E has predecessor B, F has predecessors B and C, and G has predecessors B and D. So let's have a look what happens when we start building this network. The first activity is A, which has no predecessor, and it's the first activity I can draw. The same we have with activity B, also no predecessor, and we can draw it also at the beginning of the network. The last activity without any predecessors is activity C. All these three activities have no predecessors. It means that they all can start at the same time at the beginning of the project. Now we have activity D with predecessor A, so we draw activity D and connect it with the arrow with the predecessor activity A. Remember, all the activity is done on the node, and the arrow only shows the relationship between the different activities. We have now activity E with predecessor B, so we do the same with E, and we link it with an arrow to activity B. Now we have activity F, and here we have two predecessors, B and C. So we draw F and we link it with B and C, also with two arrows. And the final activity G has also two predecessors, B and D, and we link G with B and D. So basically this is the final schedule that we have, and that's the way the activities, the project will be drawn, and we will use this schedule to continue later with the different steps when we're going to calculate the start and the finish times of all the activities. Let's have an overview how we can compare those two networking methods that we used before. We have the ADM PERT that we did in a previous slide, which we have here, and basically we have the activity C here, or the additional activity. Now what we changed here, what you didn't see in the overview, is that we put a start and a finish milestone. Now, why is that? Because a lot of people are used to the activity on arrow method where all the activities start in point 0. Now, with the precedence diagram, we don't have that necessarily. Drawing there an activity with duration 0 has basically no sense, because an activity with duration 0 is in fact a milestone. Now remember that today in the software you can define a milestone which has a duration longer than 0. So we can have 1 day or 2 days as a milestone, or let's say an important point in the project. So basically this is the way that we did it. This is how we completed the network diagram, and you see that there are some differences. When we have the dummy activities in the arrow diagramming method, we don't have those in the precedence diagramming method. Now both results or both networks are equivalent, and we can use any of those. Most of the time in the PMI you will find the right hand diagram, the precedence diagram. It's still possible that you will find the arrow diagram, but it's less, let's say, used today. Now, people still talk about a PERT diagram, because it became so important, so popular, that people are still referring to these diagrams, even when we're using the precedence diagramming method as a PERT diagram. So that was it for this video. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's see you in the next video. Thank you and bye-bye.